Okay.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Esther. How are you today?
Wonderful. I am good. It's wonderful to see you. Another new day. Last
Yes.
time when we were talking, we were discussing about Mother's Day. That was last
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah. I hope
Yes.
you had a wonderful Mother's Day. What is the
Oh, yes, I did.
special things that the boys did for you?
Well, it was all about the boys, and that was what I really wanted, for it to be all about the boys. They made me breakfast in bed, and
Wow.
yeah, it was lovely because it was like a whole week celebration, really, and they were really on about it. So they gave me flowers and made me cards, so it was special. It was lovely.
Fantastic, fantastic. I had a chilled day. We had a Zoom
Yeah.
meeting with my family, so that was a Zoom tea, yeah, and cake, which was good as
Good.
well. So fantastic.
Yes.
Now remember, yeah, sorry, Mary.
No, go ahead.
Okay, remember we did say we are going to talk about values, yeah, and the way
Yes.
I have
Yes.
broken these values today. I hope you've done your homework. I'm
Okay.
thinking of parental values and which can be
Okay.
combined with cultural values. I know you're a child of many worlds, being a
Mm.
child of an ambassador. So
Oh dear.
along the line, you may have picked different cultures from Gambia, from, I don't know, UK, from every other place that your parents took you, and your Nigerian culture, and
Okay.
some Kenyan culture because you have Kenyan friends now, right?
Yes.
But I'm thinking of parental. You know, we've been discussing about you being an educational professional, yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you being also a parent, yeah. And then we've been
Yes.
talking about homeschooling that you've been doing while the
Yes.
lockdown was on. So there's quite a number of things. So
Yes.
when we speak about values, be thinking of parental, and within the
Okay.
parental values, think of those cultural values that may have influenced who you are. Then,
Okay.
because you live in the UK, yeah, think of about the
Yes.
British values. And then on top of that, you being an educational professional or an educationist, right? Think about the
Yes.
educational values. So in
Okay.
our slots today, I may not be asking so many questions in between, but if you can just take us through, how do you instill these values, yeah,
Okay.
in your
Okay.
children and as well as the children that you educate in the early
Okay.
years? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think I will start today by maybe giving a definition of values. And yeah, what is the meaning of values? Values are basic and fundamental beliefs that guide or motivate attitudes or actions. They help us to determine what is important to us, and that's where, the parenting values come in, the work values come in, the personal values come in. So as parents, I believe, okay, I'll start from my childhood maybe. I grew up knowing that my parents, their values were for us to grow up to be good people, to be kind, to love each other, to my dad is a man of, he's a politician. So we grew up with so many people. So I could see these values being, I could see our family being driven by this value of people. It was all about people most of the time, loving people. And I think a part of me have grown that way. I would love my children, to grow up loving people, loving themselves, loving their siblings, they're only two of them. And yes, I can say they love each other. Thank God for that. um, and just being there, be kind, polite, just aspire to be good people in the society. Um, our values here is lots of laughter in the house, loving each other no matter what, no matter the fight, we may have just fought, but we come back and love upon each other, and just being generally kind to each other. And yeah, how do you instill this? It's the raising, I was reading this book, I'll give references today. I was reading this book, Five Love Languages, is by Gary Chapman. And I love it so much because, it tells you how from when you love children unconditionally, love is the fundamental of life, really. When you show them lots of love, unconditional love, when you understand how they receive love, then it's easier to instill things in them. It's easier to, discipline them, because you can imagine they are only just growing up. They they have their hormones everywhere, and you too, you are an adult and you expect them to do things that you want them to do. But it takes knowing each other. It takes filling up our love tanks. In this book, it talks about emotional love tank. It is important for it to be filled, and especially children, for it to be filled before you can actually, be able to instill this discipline in them. I will quote a bit that I highlighted. I said, when your child feels love, he is much easier to discipline and train than when his emotional tank is running near empty. Every child has an emotional tank, a place of emotional strength that can fuel him through the challenging days of childhood. You can imagine, we adults, we feel like we have challenges. Children probably go through more, but we expect them to just get over it. And that's why we have tantrums. That's why we have, emotional breakdowns, anxiety. We need to understand where they're coming from. Whatever we are feeling, they feel it too, or probably even more, because they've never felt it before. So, and it gives a powerful example here about just as cars are powered by reserves in the gas tank, our children are filled from their emotional tank. You can imagine. We must fill our children's emotional tanks for them to operate as they should and reach their potential. So it is important for us to know our children, know how they receive love. It could be through, it could be through it could be through gifts. It could be through words of affirmation. It could be through touch, it could be through just being there for them, quality time. So know how your children, receive love, and it will help us, be able to instill these values in them, whatever you want. I mean, they may not get there, but you'll know that you've done your own bit, your part. So yeah, I don't know if I've explained it properly.
Yeah, you are. And one of the things I must say I have witnessed in your own house, because I've come to your house and observed, is that touch and that talking, and even around your house, I've seen it. So there is the words, there is the actions, right? And there is also now the general overview, like you're saying, you need to be aware what it is that you are doing and how you are doing it. Without that knowledge, then it would be very difficult really to know how to instill that value. But because you understand the little people, and you also understand where you're coming from, and you understand the definition of the values. And I like it, you're saying about love, because I think love is the basis of every other value, because once you break that, or rather once you instill that, then the rest of them can also be easily balanced. So tell me about now the British values, and then they can also touch now in the job that you do, because I know the motherly, the cultural, the spiritual kind of values are sometimes much easier to instill, right? Because you operate at that level. But tell me now about the educational, rather the British values, and which also touch on the educational values.
Okay. Well, in the early years, there's what we call the British values, and these are the values we sort of try to encourage or try to instill in children, as early as possible. Most settings will have sort of maybe rules of how to live by, but they're all generally, entwined into the British values. So I'll list them. One of them is democracy. So making decisions together, involving children in decision making. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel like they are heard, Um, with my children, we have lots of conversations. Sometimes, they don't make sense, but they feel like they're being heard. And you can hear them if I'm not listening. They go, Mommy, you're not listening to me. Okay, sorry, let's start again. What are you saying? So, yeah, things like that. And then we have rule of law. And this is understanding rules matter. Rules matter are cited in personal, social, and emotional development. We have to encourage children to understand that their own actions and behaviors can impact on other people and they have consequences. It's just helping them to grow into, better human beings. And then we have individual liberty, freedom for all. Children should develop a positive sense of themselves. Our house, the boys, we have like words of affirmation. They need to know who they are. They need to see themselves, as positive human beings. I mean, yes, you have your sad days. It is okay. It is okay to express whatever emotions. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. All that matters is what you think about yourself. And then we have mutual respect and tolerance. Three, treat others as you want to be treated. Think about it. If you want people to treat you in a kind manner, in a polite manner, you have to be kind to people too. You cannot, give something else and receive, wait to receive another. So we encourage children to, be considerate of others. And it's just life, really. Just be kind, be polite, be loving. They sound so simple, yet, it is hard, but we as adults, it is our responsibilities, to help children, to encourage them to be able to share, to be able to be kind, even people on the street, just be polite, just be kind, just be loving. And, it helps a lot. It helps us have better teenagers in the community. It helps us have, better young people out there and not people vandalizing places and things like that. So, yes, that's what the British values is all about.
Fantastic, Mary. I don't think I could explain any better than you have. So I'm not going to add anything on top of what you've added. And thank you so much for bringing them in a simple, understandable way. And I hope this video will be helping parents, education professional like you, and anybody who has a comment. They can always write their questions or their comments and what they think about this, whether you're from Britain or outside of Britain. You're welcome to ask questions and tell us about your values and how you instill them in your children, wherever you're coming from. We will be very appreciating that. Now, Mary, next time I am thinking we should be talking about stages of development, and how you note the difference in the development of your children. That is your own children plus the children you take care of. And how would you be able to know that this child is more needy than the other child, so that we can bring in the point of additional needs and how you are able to deal with those? Other than that, what is your parting word, if you have one?
Okay, I'll just add before we go. Obviously, I grew up in Nigeria, in a place where, sometimes your voice as a child is not really being heard. It's all about what the adult says, but I've had to learn along the way. We have to be teachable. We have to read. I mean, I do a lot of CPDs, personal development, courses here and there. I read a lot, or I listen, because I'm not really, I don't have time to sit down with a book. So I listen to audiobooks, and it takes a lot of learning. It takes a lot of patience. We from Africa, especially African parents in the UK, it's really hard for us, but we can learn to teach our children, or to be open-minded to our children, for them to express themselves. It is okay to cry, it is okay to be sad, but help them to be able to manage their emotions, to be able to get back up again and carry on. Because life, when they get older, it won't be as difficult as if they don't have this control over their feelings. Yeah, but keep learning. I am learning every day too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary. And I could imagine, as an African parent, the way our parents were instilling discipline in us, and they were like shouting, shouting, shouting. So from an African point of view, I can imagine how much it has been for us to unlearn and learn the new ways, and then to be able to meet in between, so that we can have a balanced life for ourselves, so that we're not angry and stressed all the time, and then our children are also able to grow in a good, emotional, balanced kind of a way. So thank you so much, and hopefully you'll be joining us another time again next weekend when we tackle the next topic. So thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.